Hi Haider,
Hi Zayneb,
how are you?
I'm good.
Welcome back Haider to Infinity Insight.
Thank you, I'm happy you're back.
Yes, so
Mm-hmm.
today I have an even more complicated question for you.
Okay.
And it's about generational wealth and inheritance tax.
Oh,
Yes. So I want you to tell everyone what is inheritance tax before we get anything started.
so inheritance tax, or they call it IHT, that's short for inheritance tax. It's just a charge. It's tax charge of the estate above. So any property people will inherit it, they will have to pay tax for it.
Okay.
That's pretty much.
Now, who does this affect?
So, do you mean who's liability for that? So, who's gonna pay for it? You mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, those who holding or dealing with estates, they call them executive or executor. That's the one.
Okay, but let's put this into perspective of, like, let's say ordinary people, quote unquote. And we have, let's say, a child of a parent who has unfortunately passed away. How does this inheritance tax come into play? Let's say if their property is in their deceased parent's name.
Right, so this goes to underage.
No, let's say if they are over 18.
So it's not a child.
Not a child.
Yeah, so automatically it will go if the parents or one of the parents or both parents, pass away. The kids, as long as they can show that they're parents, so they will be liability to get the inherit, and they need to pay the tax for it.
So Haider, how much is this tax?
It's 40% after if you exceeded the free tax or nil tax.
Yeah.
Which is currently is 325,000. So anything above that, you have to pay 40%.
Okay. And going back to when you mentioned if the child is underage.
Child again. Oh, underage.
Yes. If the child is underage.
Okay.
How is that going to work? How does the tax?
So it's about who going the executive. So who or executor, sorry. Whoever is responsible for the or dealing with that estate. So remember, the tax is now we're talking about specific about states.
Yeah.
So property, land, whatever, that's why we talk inheritance tax.
Yeah.
Regard about the state only.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Yeah.
So yeah, when the child, if he's a child underage. So then it depends who's control this. So when he will control and when he starts to use it, obviously he's going to pay the tax.
Okay, so when that person turns 18 or above,
yeah, I think 18 or 17. It could be 17. I think in that age. Yep.
So now we know that if the property or the estate is in was in the deceased person's name, an inheritance tax must be paid.
Yeah.
How about if it's in a company name and the director dies?
Right. So that's called a strategy. So we often been asked. People ask me, how can I minimize the IHT, which is inheritance tax, and we call it. You can do gifted assets or trust. So you see that trust companies, Obviously, gifted is straightforward. Do it through the solicitor or trust. So if the state under trust name, company trust name, will minimize the IHT.
Okay. Now we know why.
Yeah.
Why some people have their properties in a trust.
Yeah, we advise people if they would like to have it in trust. I mean, obviously the trust is not all about minimize the IHT, but that's one of the reasons.
And
so by the way, it's IHT liabilities.
IHT liabilities.
Yeah.
All right. And what if, let's say someone's getting a bit old and they kind of like, you know, life will probably happen, and they put their property in their child's name or whoever they want to put it in, a relative or friend or so on and so forth. Would they still need to pay inheritance tax?
No, that's not inheritance tax. That's will be different taxes involved. So that's one of the, if they, for example, put a name in such as which way, if it's gifted, then that's the one which is.
So that's gifted.
That's to minimize the IHT inheritance tax liabilities. But if it would be a way of selling it, that's different taxes and so forth. So it will not go under inheritance tax.
Perfect. So that's also another way.
Yeah.
To do it.
Well.
Okay. I think that's all the questions for inheritance tax. Thank you so much, Haider.
You're welcome.
And thank you everyone for another episode of Infinity Insights. More will be coming. So yeah, everyone, if you have any questions, please leave it in the comments or DM us with the question you have. You can also WhatsApp us. So yeah, see you guys on the next episode.
Thank you.